Hey Codelings, welcome back to Codeverse TV. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name is Katy, I'm your host. I love chocolate ice cream, fluffy dogs and long walks on the beach. During the show, I play video games which were built and submitted to the Codeverse App Store by you, and then we code a game together using a special Codeverse mission card. On yesterday's mission, we built the game Hit the Gas, where we learned all about tapped events, collision events, numeric variables, and positioning methods. We also learned how to customize the speed of our car by using var and when statements. All right, close your eyes, click your heels, because it's time to head on over to my appy place. Okay, so we are inside the Codeverse App Store right now, and I am going to pick a game at random that I have never played before. Let's see. Oh, what about this one? Let's play Winter Wonderland by Sarah, 8 years old. Explore a winter wonderland to collect a key and open a trunk. Just be sure to avoid the rising water. Oh, it's rising now. This game uses random to make falling snow and the link to method to help the player carry the key. Can you open the treasure? Okay, let's do it. Oh, I've got the key. Water's rising really fast now. Ah! Let's get to the chest! Winner chicken dinner! What a great game! Wow, that was cool. Well, nice job, Sarah. If you have games of your own that you'd like to submit to the App Store, all you have to do is tell your parents to email us at tv@codeverse.com. Yay! All right, let's learn how to code and head on over to Mission Control. Okie dokie, we are here in Mission Control and we are going to learn how to build a mission together. Ta-da! If you're unfamiliar with missions, they are guided coding activities that range in difficulty level from beginner to intermediate, advanced, expert and pro. There are tons of missions to choose from. Which one do we want to do today? Let's see. We've got House Painter, Let It Snow, Gravity Swap. Let's see. What about this one? Black Hole Evader. Let's do it. Right, the aim of the game. Make a game where a rocket must avoid a black hole to reach the planet. Learn how to code a directional pad to move an object. Will your rocket evade the black hole? Let's find out, shall we? So the concepts that we're going to be using in this mission are collision events, control objects, game utilities, and non-character movement. Let's do it. So for this game, we need a black hole, a planet, a rocket, a directional pad, and we want to import our special game variable. So go ahead and import the black hole, import the planet, import a rocket, import the directional pad, and import the game, which will allow us to customize all sorts of things within the game, like the background color. Now we actually want to create those objects so that they appear on the screen. To do that, we'll use a var statement, which stands for variable. So var black hole equals new black hole, and we'll position this right in the center of the screen. So let's type in under left 50 and under top 50. Then we want to create the rocket. Type in var rocket equals new rocket 2090. So this should appear at the bottom left of your screen. Now let's add the planet. Var planet equals new planet 4611. This means that the planet should show up near the center at the top of your screen. Now let's create the directional pad. Var directional pad equals new directional pad 7085, which should show up in the bottom right of your screen. Let's change the size of the planet. To do that, we'll type planet.setSize and we'll change it to 242. We'll also change the size of the directional pad. Directional pad.setSize 150. And now finally, let's change the game background to a beautiful dark blue color. To do that, type in game.setBackgroundColor 7720. Awesome work. Now let's focus on the directional pad. We want it to move the rocket up, left, right, and come to a stop. To do this, we'll use when statements, which begin with when and end with, you guessed it, end. So, type when directional pad dot press right, rocket dot move right. And we'll do the same to move left. When directional pad dot press left, rocket dot move left. Now, when directional pad dot press up, rocket dot move up. So now we want to make it so that if you were to release your finger from the up button or the left button or the right button on the directional pad, the rocket would completely stop. So the way to do this is when directional pad dot release, rocket dot stop. So press run and see what happens. When you tap up, the rocket moves up. And when you release your finger on that button, the rocket immediately stops. Same thing with the left and right controls on the directional pad. Alright, so let's make this game a little bit more challenging. Let's make it so that if the rocket collides with the black hole, the rocket explodes in space. Let's use a when statement again. When rocket dot collides with black hole, rocket dot explode. Now press run and head on over to that black hole to see what happens. Ah! Let's customize this game just a little bit more. Let's make it so that if the rocket heads straight to the planet and touches the planet will turn green. So type this, when rocket dot collides with planet, planet dot set body color 0, 85, 50. Now press run and see what happens. When you head on up to the planet, it should turn from blue to green. How about we make the game just a little bit more challenging? Let's add a meteor. So the first thing that we have to do is import a meteor to the game. Now we'll go ahead and actually create the meteor on the screen. We'll use a var statement again for that. Var meteor equals new meteor 2020. And we'll make it so that when the rocket collides with the meteor, the rocket will explode, just like it does with the black hole. When rocket dot collides with meteor, rocket dot explode. And remember, every when statement ends with end. Great, so now that we've completed the game and we've customized a couple things within the game, let's use our trading cards to personalize the game even more. So this is the meteor card, which goes along with this mission, and there's a lot of different things that we can do here. We can set the body color, we can set the creator color, we can change the size, the mass, the bounce of the meteor, as well as the friction. So let's change a couple things right now. Let's start with setting the body color of the meteor. So to do that, we'll type in meteor.setBodyColor 75, 25, 80. That should make it a beautiful purple color. Now we can do the same thing for the crater color. Let's make it a deeper purple. To do that, type in meteor.setCraterColor 45, 19, 75. Ta-da! Beautiful. Let's now make it so that when we run the game, the meteor falls down on the screen instead of staying in place. So to do that, type in meteor.setFixed false. Now press run and see what happens. It falls down and smashes straight into the rocket. Let's do one more fun one. How about we'll make it so that when the meteor falls onto the rocket, it bounces really high. So in order to do that, type in meteor.setBounce 100. Now press run and watch the meteor spring right off of the rocket while the rocket explodes. Pretty cool, hey? Well look, thank you so much for building that game. That was called Black Hole Evader and it was an intermediate mission. Now we're going to head over to the mailroom where I answer questions submitted by you. Okay, so this question is from Ainsley in Chicago. How can I make an object fall randomly from the top of the screen in my game? Wow, that is an excellent question, Ainsley, and I'd be happy to show you right now. So the first thing that you want to do is log into your Codeverse account and create a new project. Then we want to import the specific object that we want to fall from the top of the screen. My favorite object is a star, so let's go ahead and import a star. Then we want to import a timer. Type import timer. Then we'll import the special game variable so that we can customize certain aspects of the game. And let's import another special variable called random. This will allow us to generate random numbers. More on that in a minute. Let's talk about the timer. Let's create a timer using a var statement. Var stands for variable. Var timer equals new timer. So let's just go ahead and set the timer to 0 so that it isn't currently running. Timer.count to 0. Later on in our code, we're going to set the timer to a different number so we can trigger an event when it reaches 0. So for now, let's create that event. Let's use a when statement to do this. When timer ends, I want stars to fall randomly from the top of the screen. So I'm going to create another variable called x, which will be a random number. So I'm going to pick 0 and 100 so that stars fall randomly across the top of my screen. Var x equals random number 0, 100. Now I'm going to create my object variable that I want to fall. In this case, it's a star, and these stars are going to fall from the top of the screen when the timer ends. Var star equals new star, x 0. I'm going to put my stars at x, which is random, and the y position at 0, so they always appear at the top of the screen. Once that star is created, I want them to move down so that they're falling down the screen. So type in star.moveDown. And finally, I'm going to reset my timer so it counts again and makes another star. Timer.count to 1. I'm going to make my stars fall every 1 second. But you can change this number based on how frequently you want your stars to come. Alright, smash that run button and watch the stars fall from the screen every 1 second. And to add a little bit more pizzazz to your game, you can change the background color and even change the size of the stars. Look how incredibly beautiful your game is! Ah! Alright, well that was fun. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. If you want some specific coding tips or if you have questions for me, go ahead and email me at tv@codeverse.com. And as a reminder, if you have an app or a game that you'd like to submit to the App Store, feel free to tell your parents to email us at that same address. Alright, see you tomorrow. Bye!